All right. Welcome, good people, to the latest episode of the Terrible Towel Tuesday podcast, or Terrible Towel Tuesday, whatever you want to call it. But either way, welcome. And I'm sorry that I'm late. Guys. Had a few technical difficulties, was doing a couple of things here around the house, and kind of lost track of time. And like I said, I had a few technical difficulties, so it took me a little while to get started, but we're going to go ahead and get this thing rolling. Excuse me, give me just a second. You guys know like how we do. We want to definitely, get the link so I can send it out to a few special people. So give me just a second as we do that. And then we'll get it cracking, man. We'll try to, kind of get through this show relatively quick. And what I mean by relatively quick is I don't have a whole lot to talk about, man. I want to kind of be in and out again. I appreciate the love that you guys have been showing, but the calls have been, the shows have been extremely long. So, again, I got to cut it off at some point, the happy wife, happy life. You know what I mean? So give me just a second, guys. I'm going to send out the link and then we'll get it cracking. Going to send it here in our group chat, Tony and Kenyon. Excuse me. Send it to my father-in-law, Leonard. And then we're going to send it out to my cousin, Floyd, more like my big brother, Floyd. And then I will be talking to you guys. So give me a hot second, man. Hot second. And how's everybody doing, man? How's everybody's weekend? I know you guys are ready for that draft, right? Just like me. All right, so here we go. Let's get it cracking, man. What's up, good people? What's going on, man? We're going to do our quick roll call, and then y'all know how we're going to do. We're going to go in, and we're going to get out. Really quick, let me introduce you guys, some of you guys that might be new, to let you know, yes, if you want to call in, the number is right there on the screen. The call-in number is area code 619-924-0818. And also, guys, I have to say this a couple times throughout the show. Got to do your due diligence here and do everything as I'm supposed to, as a lot of you guys are telling me to, by the way. But anyway, letting you guys know how you can call in. Also letting you guys know how you can donate. If you would like to donate, if you want to do it outside of YouTube, I have the donation options right there in the description. There's a Cash App, there's a PayPal, and thank you to a lot of you guys who have actually already donated using those methods. But if you want to donate right here through YouTube, right there in the bottom right corner of the chat window, there's a $sign. Click on that, and it will walk you through the prompts. But outside of that, let's get into the roll call, and then let's get the show started. So let's see who we got in here already early. Jay Vega, Eli, Patrick Covington, JJ Walker, Michael Garman, MB, Tyrone Johnson. He said, he's from the 757. That's what it is, man. VA all day. I was born and raised in the 804 in Richmond, Virginia. So always a shout out to Virginia folks. Definitely got to do that. Josh Shermeyer, Nathan Gaskins, Obi-Wan, Anthony Blewett, Y Diggy, Kenyon and Tony, my brothers there in the building. Droz Hill, General Grievous 2005, Jordan Mid, Daniel Quigley, Aguilar 99, and Ali Howard. And what's up to my homie Dez right there, man? That's my guy right there, on and off of YouTube. That's my dude right there, man. So what's up, Dez? And like I said, Dez comes through just to check us out, check me out. He's not a Steelers fan, he's a Ravens fan, but it ain't got nothing to do with that. Why he comes through. So shout outs to my homie Dez. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this thing, man. So make sure somebody's already in the queue. Area code 810. I'm going to pick you up in just a second. Let me give you guys the topics. Then I'll grab the call, because really the calls dictate the show for the most part. But what I want to talk about, man, as far as just, what I want to cover, we'll talk about, will the Steelers reach for their first round pick? And I will explain to you guys what I mean by that, and I'm going to go in a little deeper than just the surface question right there. But do you think the Steelers will reach at pick 20? We'll go into that. Then I want to talk about the increased numbers for volunteer workouts. Looks like there were a lot of people there, even today, and maybe it started yesterday, but I know for sure today there was an increase in numbers. Ben Roethlisberger was there. Looks like everybody's focused. And I'll talk about, why I think that's important. And then last but not least, man, we'll talk about the latest pre-draft visits. They had one as recent as today. We're at 29 out of 30 right now, so that could be it. I think it wraps up either today or tomorrow. One of these days, the 16th, 17th, something like that. They have to be done. and showing more people. More people have come in than they did in previous years. I think last year they only had like 23 visits. So that's interesting. So that's pretty much what I'm going to cover. But without further ado, I'd like to give you guys the floor. So let me go ahead and grab the first caller. Area code 810. I'm about to come to you, but let me give you guys also the information in terms of calls. You guys know, if you don't want any feedback, if you don't want double audio, if you don't want echoing, if you don't want a delay from hearing what I'm saying, mute your phone. Excuse me, not the phone, but mute your device. If you're on the computer, mute the computer, your tablet, or what have you, and just listen via phone. So that way we don't have any delay between communication and there's no double audio. I have 2 phone calls here from an area code 810. So let me go further and say, first up, area code 810, prefix 513. Coming to you first. 810, you are live. What you got for us tonight?
Yes, sir. How you doing, bro? This is Duane. They call me Vision.
Oh, good, good. What's going on, man?
But the reason they call me, I'm doing good, bro. The reason they call me Vision, man, I'm a long time Steelers fan, but the reason they call me Vision, I have no eyesight. I lost my eyesight due to glaucoma.
Oh, man.
But that ain't stopping me nothing though, because Tunch and Wolf, they beat my eyes on Sunday morning. I'm a musician out on the Oregon. I'll be ready to get off that Oregon. They come get to listen to them Steelers on Sundays, man. But man, I gotta tell you, bro, I gotta give it to you. Gotta give it to you, man. First, man, I love your show. You doing a wonderful job, bro. And man, I'm glad to be a part of this, man. And I hope it does grow. I'm hoping it grow.
Oh,
all right,
man.
Now,
appreciate it, brother.
Now, what I got to talk about, I'm gonna make this real quick. I want you to two things real quick. Rodney Anderson out of Oklahoma. Now, I know your boy King, and I know he been watching all them the replays and everything with West Virginia. But I know Rodney didn't play this year because he was hurt. But I know he's coming out. So check him out, man. I mean, he got the breakaway speed, and he runs in the middle. He runs between the tackles though. And he got good hands, and he's also good on that kickoff return. And so just check him out. Let me know what you think about it. Now, in the second thing, I'm way back. I'm an older cat, man. I'm back there when the Steelers. This is what I believe. The Steelers need to find that nastiness, man. They need to get that nastiness back. They need to find a defensive person who's got that bark. Who's got that bark? I'm like a Greg Lloyd fan. I don't know. You remember? Greg Lloyd, man. So
yeah.
Greg was a beast, man. They need to find somebody linebacker, somebody with that voice like Joey Porter, Greg Lloyd type of thing, man. The Steelers need to scare people again. They used to be the bullies of the North. Matter of fact, people used to be scared to play the Steelers, man.
Right.
And so we need to get that beast back in us, man. And I believe we'll be all right if they find that voiceful person, man. We'll be all right, man. We'll be all right. And actually, I think we should stay pat where we at, man. I think we should stay pat, man. I think we can do some things with them 10 picks, man. So I think we'll be all right. And thanks for the call, bro. And I appreciate it being back. I appreciate being on. Thank you.
Oh, man. And thank you so much, guys. Before I continue, I got to give that brother a round of applause, man. Wow. Got to give him a round of applause, man. And the reason why, obviously, it should be obvious, but for you guys that don't know, if you came on late, my man said he lost his eyesight, due to glaucoma. So, my prayers to you, man. It doesn't sound like it's slowing you down a bit, just like you said. So, to me, that's very inspiring. He didn't let that stop him, and he listens to my show. Do you know how touching that is? That's very touching to know that all he relies on pretty much is his ears in terms of his information. And he's chosen to allow me to be one of those people. That is beyond inspiring, humbling, and man, just shouts out to him. Prayers up to him, man. Who knows? Maybe one day he'll be blessed enough to wake up and his eyesight has come back. So, I never stop praying for those in need, or those who might be in need in the future. So guys, send your prayers up to him and shout outs to that call. I humbly appreciate your call, man. Wow. I really don't even know what else to say after that. Let's move on to the next call, man. Another area code 810. This is 810-875. Oh, there they go. There they go. Looks like they had just hung up. But here we go. 810, you are live. What you got for us tonight?
How you doing, Sim? This is Blackhawk, man.
Oh, what's good, man?
Again. Thanks for taking my call.
Oh, yeah. Anytime.
Much,
anytime.
Appreciating everything you do, man. Keeping me informed all the time.
I try to.
I want to say the same. Man. Much respect to that brother, man.
Yeah.
Much respect. Much prayers go up for him too, man. That is inspiring, man. It's truly inspiring. But I just want to say, man, I believe we're gonna stand pat at 20. I think they're gonna reach. I think they're gonna make a trade and move up in round 2. Somebody. I don't know what position it's gonna be. Because either it's going to be for a corner. If we get lucky and Bush drops down to us at 20, I think they're going to take it. If not, we're going to get a corner. But I think they're going to move up in round 2 for either a corner or that linebacker that they're looking for out there. And one question I wanted to ask you, man, was what do you feel about this thing, man? This Joey Bosa thing.
Joey Bosa or his brother?
I mean his brother, not Joey Bosa.
What's his name? Nick Bosa, I think. Yeah, I think it's Nick. Yeah.
It's the Nick Bosa. Yeah. How do you feel about that, man? The comments and the things you put on social media, man.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's gonna. I was just wondering, do you think that's gonna make him drop in the draft?
It could, man. I mean. I think, I'll definitely answer that while you're here in case you want to respond real quick. It could, because the way the NFL works, and pretty much any league now, somebody's going to be overreactive. Like there's going to be teams that's going to say, whoa, let's stay away from that. We don't want to show too much interest. But then there's going to be teams that's going to be like, whatever. Yeah, he said it. He's a young kid. Whatever. I think it's unfortunate, but the way I always feel about these type of things, man, like trying to take bias away from it, I really feel like, and I understand sometimes things happen when you're young. I may have said something crazy when I was younger, but it's certain things I never would have said on social media. And that's how I feel. Sometimes people play that, well, they were young, and no. There's certain things I know I better not ever say on social media. Better not give an opinion on this certain thing, in the grand scheme of things because of how it's going to look. Even if I didn't mean it a certain way. You know what I mean? Like, there's just certain topics that I'm like, nah. Don't blame that on I was young and I didn't know. No, you did. Because you was old enough to know what you said. So,
right.
True colors, man.
You're right about that.
True colors come out. That's all it is.
Man. Oh, yeah, yep, that's true, man. Like you said, there's certain things, man, that you just know that shouldn't be said, period. It don't matter what age you are. You know what I'm saying? They can't pin everything on, he was just young. That don't fly. That don't fly with me either.
Yeah,
when people say things like that, that's their true feeling. That's how they really feel about it. In certain situations, you say certain things, man, knowing it's controversial. If you take that chance knowing what you're trying to do in your future, then you meant it.
Yeah, man. And, and I see some of the people here in the chat, man, that, they talking about specifically like, him liking Trump and all that. Listen, guys, it ain't about that. That's not what we're really talking about here. I mean, if you love Trump, who cares? Right. That's on you. I ain't going to get into all the political stuff because truth be told.
That's your preference.
That's your preference. And truth be told, I'm going to say this real quick, Hawk, and a lot of people probably wouldn't say this, but it's the truth. I don't necessarily believe that Trump is the way that he's acting. I said that from the beginning. I think that dude played to a certain crowd to get elected, and he's doing the same thing again. That's all I'm going to say on it. I'm not going to go too far down that road. I'm just saying.
Right.
He's just playing people like a fiddle, man, if you ask me. Even the people who were backing him, if you really look at it from a deeper standpoint. So, whatever.
Right. I'm going to say this real quick, then I'm going to get off, man. I appreciate it. But what you just said is the same thing I said, man, to my wife. We was talking about that. I said, the man that's on TV is not who he really is. Whether he feels the way he feel about certain races, certain genders, or whatever. So what? This man is putting on a show.
That's all it is.
He's an actor.
He's the apprentice.
To me, it's a show. Yep, that's it, man. So pretty much everybody they don't agree with him fired.
Yeah, man.
So,
that's how I see it.
Thanks for taking my call, bro. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate you calling. And yeah, guys, we're not gonna make this a political thing, man. If you guys love Trump, hate Trump, loved Obama, hated Obama, loved Hillary, hated Hillary, I don't care about none of that when we talk about Steelers. Your politics is your politics. Who you like is who you like. I'm just saying, if I had to drop a jewel on somebody that can't clearly see it, that man did exactly what he needed to do to get elected, and he's playing to the right crowd to stay where he's at. It should be easy to see that. So that's all I'm saying. It's all a show. They all do it. It's all a show when it comes to politics with all of these candidates and those who came before them, even with Obama. It's all a show. But let me get off of that. This ain't the political show, man. Let me take the next call. Area code 443. You are live. What you got for us tonight?
Hey, Sim, I just wanted to say, I had 3 quick points. I was going to ask you, do you think the Steelers, personally, I don't think we should draft a running back in this entire draft because I feel like there's depth, or if you wanted that third person, that third running back, you could find that in after free agency or after an undrafted free agency. I don't think we should waste one of our draft picks on a running back. So I just wanted your opinion on that. And then I just wanted to say I don't think we should pick a corner because, or at least in the first 2 rounds, because we have that stopgap in Steven Nelson. And I think Mike Hilton I'm like the biggest Mike Hilton fan you'll ever find. His spot shouldn't be in jeopardy in the slot, right? And Joe Hayden and Steven Nelson outside, I don't think that's terrible. It could definitely be better, but I don't see any rookie that would be, if it's not Murphy or Greedy, I don't think any rookie that would be there would be better than any of those two to come in and play right now. So, yeah, and I think the Nick Bosa thing, it kind of ties into the whole Josh Allen thing from last year.
Yeah.
Where they use, well, regardless of who they're, supporting, I just think it's a lame excuse when you say, oh, he was a kid. Yeah. When you're in high school, your mind is pretty much made up. I'm not going to say more on that, but I just think it's a cheap excuse. If you're going to say something like that, I think you should back it up. You don't have to offend anybody, but don't cop the plea by trying to say that you were young and dumb. No, in high school you know your opinions and you knew enough to go on Twitter and tweet that. You felt strongly enough about it to go tweet about it, and that's all I want to say. And I appreciate your dedicatedness to this because I know it's not easy. I appreciate your efforts in trying to make the show better with the because I didn't have Skype. I always wanted to call in. I just never had Skype. So I appreciate you finding another way to involve us.
Yes, man, and that's exactly why I did it. And thank you for that call, man. I'll answer your question here in a second. That's exactly why, I offered this a different way for you guys to connect with the phone. I got the phone queue, and it's something I have to pay for every month, but it is what it is. It's worth it, man, to have that experience with you guys. So I'm glad I did that because and I see a lot of people tell me, hey, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? Why don't you try Google Hangouts and Skype? And the fact of the matter is, enough people have told me in the past, not everybody uses Skype. Not everybody has the Google Hangouts. But most people have a telephone. So to me, this is the easiest way to connect with you guys. I fully agree with you, man, about the running back thing. They're probably going to use one of those draft picks, but maybe if you could find a veteran, that's cool. Connor, here's how I feel real quick about that. Connor and Jalen Samuels, I think, as crazy as some people might think this is, I still think they got stuff to prove. Connor really just has to prove that we can rely on him as far as health-wise. And I know that you can't never predict that with any player. But, you got to have somebody behind Connor because it's possible that he could get nicked up, especially the way the Steelers like to ground and pound and run guys into the ground. It's possible that they'll get nicked up. Jalen Samuels showed us a lot more than I thought against New England, nevertheless. But I'm still not sure he is that guy. You know what I mean? As far as that valuable backup. I don't mind bringing in some fresh blood with a draft pick. I don't want it to be a high draft pick. But if you can find one of those decent running backs out there, I know Kenyon and I and Tony have been talking, man. We would love to see more of a change of pace type of guy. You know, a guy with some speed. One of the guys I'm going to mention tonight, the kid from Maryland, Ty Johnson, I believe his name is. Maybe a change of pace type of guy. What I was telling Kenyon, I would love to see a Willie Parker type. And I'm only talking about the home run capability. I'm not talking about Willie Parker's whole game. I'm just talking about the capability for him to hit a home run. You know, and the capability for Willie Parker to have a walk-off 60-yard touchdown. We don't have that on our roster. We didn't have that with Le'Veon. So I'm looking forward to that, and you might have to go in the draft for that, but I don't want to spend it early. But as I will mention later on when we talk about the pre-draft visits, they brought in a lot of running backs, man. You know, so it looks like they're definitely leaning towards drafting a back at some point. So we'll see. What else did he say? You were talking about, forgive me if I can't remember the whole thing, but you also mentioned about not getting a corner. You know what? I'm not opposed to that either. And how I kind of feel about that is, you're right. You know, who comes off the field? I feel like Nelson is going to be the guy that is going to be opposite of Joe Hayden. I think Nelson right now on that roster is the guy who's capable of playing a little more man coverage. I didn't even realize the numbers was this high, but last year they said the Steelers ran man coverage, was the third ranked team in the league of man coverage usage. How funny that has changed, right? Over the last 4 years when we all was screaming for more man. And they've been pretty decent with it when we can get the pressure. And Joe Hayden has done fairly well with it. I think Steven Nelson can do that. He's physical. So I think if we can get his technique down as far as, and I'm talking mental technique, so he's not so grabby because he did have some penalty issues last year, I think he's a nice compliment, which means you're looking at more than likely Mike Hilton staying in the slot. However, Mike Hilton is not a lock. He's not a lock. Remember, Mike Hilton got taken off the field a little bit last year. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not opposed to them getting somebody. I just don't know who it is right at the gate. You know, I don't know if it's Murphy, because Murphy, again, and it's funny, man, when you start watching film and sharing your feedback with other people, you know, we were just saying today, Kenyon and I was talking about, if you watch a lot of Washington tape, you know, Murphy played a lot of bail technique. He wasn't really the guy. He's not really the guy that's in your face and pressing. So you would think because of his skill set, you can move him inside. So that could put Mike Hilton at a challenge. So who knows, man? Who knows? I just don't know. I don't think you go corner early either. I'd rather see one of those big guys take a chance and go after one of the big kids. You know, your Justin Lanes of the world, some of those type of dudes, you know, later on. Well, even though he probably won't be there super late. But, you know, there's some prospects out there that you can wait a little before you go corner. Let's take the next call, man. I saw some of you guys dropped out of the queue. I apologize for that. We'll try to speed this thing up. Area code 734. You are live. What you got for us?
Hey, Sim, how you doing, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
It's Tyler Chapman calling.
Oh, okay. What's going on, man? What's going on?
Oh, man. You know what? I'm at work, so I have the opportunity to check out NFL Network. And so I get to look at the mock drafts, what they have on there. And everyone says that we're going to get a cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
Then I hear we may trade up to get Devin Bush. But they got him going to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So, but we all know, come draft time, there's always scrambled eggs going on.
Yeah.
All I want them to do, and you know, our motto is we always draft the best athlete in that position.
Yeah, because the good question is, man, as much as we talk about what we want, you know, I think we talked about it a little bit last week, man. You know, listening to the guys over at Steelers Depot, they said the same thing. Who is the guy if Bush isn't there? If if Bush goes to Cincinnati, and if you assume Devin White is snatched up earlier than that, who do we pick? Honestly, I don't know.
Exactly, which he might be.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
So then they're going to follow suit and then go grab a cornerback.
Yep. But what if, I seen some interesting questions earlier today. What if let's say Murphy and Greedy Williams, which I know not everybody is big on Greedy, but, he's probably ranked by most as one of the top corners. So let's say Greedy Williams,
he is.
Murphy's gone. Let's say Hawkinson is gone, the standout tight end, and Devin White, Devin Bush. Who do we pick? I have no idea. I have no idea.
I can't lose a brain cell trying to find out.
Yep. So
But I'm gonna leave it up to them, man. And whoever we get, I've always been like this. I'll just sit back and wait, and then see how we develop them. And when it's game time, let's see what we do.
Yeah, that's all we could do, man. At least we don't have long, man. And just to let everybody know, draft night, what I plan to do is we're going to do live coverage. Kenyon is going to stop through. Tony's going to stop through. And we're going to
love that dude, man.
Yeah, man. Kenyon, I'm telling you, he's our resident, our scout.
Yes.
He's our scout.
Meticulous.
Yeah, man. So I can't wait for that. So definitely, man, if you're free that Thursday, and for some of you guys know I do another podcast, but I'm not gonna do that one that night. It's gonna be draft night Steelers. We're gonna start at 8:00 when the draft starts, and we'll talk during the draft, and when we make our pick, we'll talk about who we pick. So there you go.
I'm with it.
Yeah, man. So definitely, man, Todd, I appreciate you calling, man. Guys, that's a guy that's followed me for a little while now. We connect a little bit even on the gaming side. He follows me on Twitter. Definitely a diehard Steeler fan, man. So Todd, I appreciate you calling in. Definitely appreciate that call. Let's grab this next one really quick. Area code 412. You are live. What do you have for us tonight?
Hey, what's going on, Sim? This is Patrick.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. Thank you for taking my call.
Oh yeah, of course.
I'm at work, so I'm gonna make this quick. With your last caller, with that scenario you and him were just talking about, and with your topic being on if will the Steelers reach, I'm gonna bring up your discussion with Steel Jedi when he called a couple Terrible Towel Tuesdays ago, when he suggested that maybe Chase Winovich could be there. Now, to a lot of people, that might be a reach, but for me, it depends. And I would say my question might be, if we do decide to go on Winovich, was the reach necessary? Because maybe the Steelers might have looked down on their board and said, well, maybe Murphy is gone, Greedy's gone, Bush is gone, Hawkinson and Fant are gone. We might have to go with the next man up with Winovich, because maybe besides Banaju from TCU. I hope I'm not butchering his name.
Banagoo, I think is how he says it.
Yeah, Banagoo. He might not. If we possibly, I know he's on our boards, and I know a lot of people, especially on the show, really like him. But if he's not there, Chase Winovich might be a pretty good option, and I wouldn't call it a reach. To be honest, I would call it just us taking the next necessary pick, and I would say it would be a reach if it depends on the position, the player, and what we have to do at that particular moment. But I don't think I don't think we reach in the first round. I think there are like 5 guys that I see us going with that could be there. Bush being one of them. I'm pretty strong on Hawkinson if we go tight end. Corner, I will agree on one of the caller who talked about corner, not picking one in the first round, because if you go with a corner in the first round, then in my view, you're pretty much saying you want that guy to start day one.
But that was gonna be my point. Yep.
Yeah. So I don't necessarily think we do. That's because if a lot of people say Murphy, then you probably want Murphy to start day one. So, which I don't think we're doing, because I don't think that's what we'll do, because I'm pretty high on Nelson and Hayden, and I think we'll probably go with corner, maybe with one of the 2/3 or possibly a fourth. But that's all I wanted to say, Sim. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for taking my call again, and God bless, man.
Oh, absolutely, man. God bless. Thanks for the call. And, man, we rolled through those calls kind of swiftly there, man. I'm trying to get my timing right. You know, I feel like now when the calls come in, we'll knock those out first, and then we'll talk a little bit about the topics. Then that'll be it for the most part. So, again, if you got cut off, man, if you couldn't hang on, I apologize for that. But I'm going to come back to the call queue in about 5 minutes or so. I'm going to discuss the topics here a little bit. If you want to still call in, area code 619-924-0818. You'll be put in the queue, and then when I look back, I'll grab you. But yeah, man, see, I'm getting better too, guys, with coming up with titles that will make you guys create discussion. And it seems like it worked perfectly tonight, especially with that last call, man. Appreciate Patrick's call. What I mean by will they reach in the first round? Let's discuss that. Because like he said, to me, I think draft picks in terms of when they go and mocks and scouting reports, although they are all important, I will say I think sometimes it's overrated. What I mean by that is basically, guys, when you scout a player, and I'm not a professional scout, I'm just a average guy who's been a football fan all his life, has played football, a diehard Steeler fan, have watched the guys that we've drafted, have watched other players in the league, where they were drafted, where they ended up being, and shout outs, man. Hold on real quick. Speaking of that, watching other players, I got to give a round of applause to Russell Wilson. Quick story about Russell Wilson, man. He's from my hometown. You know, he's from Richmond, Virginia. I know exactly where he went to school at. He went to a private school. The school is called Collegiate, and it's in the southern side of Richmond. You know, real nice area. You know, if you know what I mean. That's where a lot of the public schools are. And I knew all about it because, you know, there was another school right around there called St. Gertrude where the girls went, okay? And I'm going to tell you, most of us guys in the city was always trying to get at them girls at St. Gertrude because they were the private school girls that was goody two-shoes and away from the mischief. No. I'm going to leave that story right there. But so I knew all about, you know, where he went to school. And it's just, you know, him being from my hometown and my city, I always rooted for guys like that. You know, I keep an eye on Virginia guys all the time, you know, because, again, just like now, I've been in Pennsylvania for a very long time. So now that's what I do with Pennsylvania guys. You know, I keep my eye on Pennsylvania, you know, talent, you know, because it's easy to scout them. But anyway, you know, so I've always looked around the league, man. And Russell Wilson, man, shout outs to him right now being the NFL's highest player. Might be trouble for us because I know Ben Roethlisberger is going to try to restructure his deal now. And, you know, he's going to want to be top-notch type of guy, even though he's on his way out in terms of length of career. But, yeah, but back to what I was saying. It's like, could you say that a guy, just because he goes to the first round, he's going to be a dynamo? Or second round? Or even third? You know, sometimes, again, this is the old cliche. This is the cliche type of example, but listen, Antonio Brown was a 6th round draft pick. Tom Brady was a 6th round draft pick. And I know that doesn't happen every day. I'm just saying it's possible. So I think sometimes, man, you're just scouting potential, and you know what I mean? You don't necessarily know what guys are going to be. You're just scouting potential for the most part. So I think sometimes when we say, did somebody reach, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Now that brings me to my point about what the Steelers are going to do. Who did we draft last year? I know it's a rhetorical question, but if you guys want to put it in the chat, go ahead. And whoever puts it in there first, I'll give you props. But who did we draft in the first round last year? Okay? Many of us didn't see that coming. And even some of the aficionados, shout outs to Jesse George being quick on the draw, Terrell Edmonds, and he put reach. But listen, many aficionados didn't have him in going in the first round. You know, even Alex over at Steelers Depot said, yeah, I kind of had him possibly second, third. Nobody thought he was a first round talent. Now, some people are already saying that the Steelers are reach, or some people are already calling the kid a bust after one season, which I think is crazy. Troy Polamalu had a bad rookie season. Do we all remember that? And this guy will go down as probably one of the greatest players in Steeler history. Definitely, overall, the best safety. I'm just saying. We don't know yet. But my point being, if Devin Bush is not there, which he could be, Cincinnati scares me, though. Cincinnati scares me. The Broncos scare me a little bit, even though they need other things. Cincinnati definitely needs a middle linebacker. You know, Burfict is gone. Cincinnati is known for picking the guys that Steelers want, i.e. William Jackson and Artie Burns. But it is a chance that Devin Bush could be there. I don't think you move up to get Devin Bush. I've been saying that for a couple weeks now. Don't do it. I mean, if it's a few spots, cool. If you want to secure that kid, great. But don't go way beyond 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picks. Don't go up that far. I want to keep as many picks as we can, just because I think this is a good time, man, to try to rebuild. And next year, and like Kenya said, I mean, if you could do something the way it works out in your favor and you can get a lot more picks next year, great. I don't think the Steelers are going to do that because it's rare that Kevin Colbert has done that. They're probably going to stay put, but they're probably going to move up somewhere in the draft. So I would prefer them not do it at 20. But getting back to what I was saying, if Devin Bush isn't there, Greedy Williams isn't there, DeAndre Baker, I mean, I'm just naming some of the top guys that the people are talking about. You look at a lot of the other teams in front of us, and you know some quarterbacks are going to go. You know some offensive linemen are going to go. Hawkinson is probably going to go. Few of the receivers are probably going to go early. It's very possible. If he gets by Cincinnati, Bush might be sitting right there at 20. Like Kenya was saying a few moments ago, a guy like Cleveland Farrell, I'm hearing people say that too. He's a guy that is super talented that could probably be sitting right there at 20. Now, he's not your traditional 3-4 linebacker, but again, I'm not opposed to bringing in a guy that has played with his hand in the dirt. You can still use him in the nickel. You can use him just like you use Watt and Bud in terms of pass rush. Because we've also reduced a little bit here is we don't drop our linebackers as much as we once did. And then Farrell might be athletic enough to do it. But what I'm saying is, even if you get to a point at 20 and you got to go with the best pick, the best player on the board, go ahead. Or the kid Burns. Burns is another guy who might be picked already by 20. It's a lot of these dudes, man. Gary, it's a lot of these guys that could go possibly before Bush. So he could be sitting there at 20. But if he's not, will the Steelers reach? And what I mean by reach, again, I wouldn't be upset with the pick, but a reach could be somebody like Winovich in terms of nobody expects him to go in the first round. And my whole point in saying all of this, as long as it's a talented player, sometimes you got to pick guys when you want them. It just is what it is. And to me, I feel like the draft process is overblown. And the pecking order is overblown, where it's a guy first round, Or is he a second round? Now, some dudes just jump off of the screen when you watch them. You see the talent there, and you see that the potential is high. But I'm telling y'all, and I remember hitting Kenyon up that night, him and Tony. I'm watching film. I'm watching full games, right, of Michigan. And again, there's many ways you could do it, guys. Just search it on YouTube. A lot of times I put a prospect's name in and I just put verses, and it brings up the teams. And it brings up a lot of the condensed versions. It'll just be the full game, but it's all defensive snaps, right? Or you can watch the entire game, in case, again, like Kenyon does. Kenyon likes, he prefers a lot of times, if he has time, he'll watch the full game. 2-3 hours worth of film, because then he's able to see prospects on both ends of the coin or whatever, both sides of the game, both teams. But if you just want to look at a defensive player, type it in, watch a few games. My limit, my minimum is I try to watch 3 games of 2018 because I want to see their most recent. And I'm watching film on Devin Bush, and who do I see being very disruptive? All in the footage, making plays, all in the footage. Chase Winovich. So I wouldn't be upset at that pick. However, a lot of people are saying he's not first round talent. Again, I just feel like sometimes in my opinion, I feel like those things are overblown. Guys are overhyped, or sometimes guys are underappreciated. So don't get too upset, man, if we don't pick one of the guys that we expect. If it's a baller, we'll have to see. So the whole reason why I posed that question, man, is I just wonder if they're going to do like they did last year, where obviously the 2 inside backers were gone and Jesse Bates was sitting right there. I felt like we needed more of a ball hawk, somebody who could create turnover. They went with Edmonds, and again, I feel like the reason why they went with Edmonds is because of him being able to play as a dime backer, because that was the intention, especially after you get Morgan Burnett. The intention was to have Edmonds be the dime safety and the dime backer pretty much, and Morgan Burnett would have been the veteran starter, and you move Sean Davis to free safety. Didn't work out that way, and I feel like it worked in our favor by allowing Edmonds to have to play more, and I think he got better as the year went on. He had some hiccups, obviously. He's a rookie. Little green. But I think he improved his game throughout the year. Now it could be a whole different scenario. So that's my only question. Is it going to be a reach? Is it going to be somebody that we don't see coming? What do you guys think? So again, man, let's hit a few more of these topics here. And give me a second, guys. Let me pull up this site. I need to look up really quick. Don't want to type in you guys' ears, so I'm going to mute for a hot second. And what I want to do is look at the current pre-draft visitors. Y'all want me to piss y'all off real quick? real quick. And talk about New England. Y'all see what New England just did? They signed Demaryius Thomas to a 1-year deal, and reportedly they were wanting to trade for him, and that didn't work out, so now they got him for a 1-year deal. And the reason why I say piss y'all off, man, is because you know how New England do. He'll mess around, go there and ball out for New England, because that's just how New England gets down. So, all right, man, let's take a look at a few of these pre-draft visits here. So, most recently, guys, since the last time we talked, there's a running back on April the 11th, Kareth White Jr. from Florida Atlantic. I don't know much about him. Ty Johnson from Maryland. Kenya was telling me about him. Very, very, very fast. I haven't watched any of his film, but again, they said, at his pro day, he ran a 4.2. He ran sub 4.4s at the combine, I believe, but at the pro day, they're reporting he ran in the 4.2 range. He's a blazer. Kenya said, you take a look at the Ohio State game, he was outrunning the defense for the most part. So I'm going to go take a look at some of his film tonight. Who else did we not talk about since last week? Tight end Josh Oliver from San Jose State came in on the 10th. Deontay Johnson, receiver from Toledo, on April the 12th. And offensive guard Garrett Brumfield, from LSU. He came in on the 10th. And Quincy Williams from Murray State, inside linebacker. I don't know anything about him. Never heard of him before. And then today, that gigantic cornerback, Steven Denmark from Valdosta State. The kid is 6'4", I believe, like 6'4", 220-ish. Ran a 4.4. Sounds sort of like almost like a Brian Allen type of guy. So I'm not opposed to that in later rounds. Get somebody in there. What if he turns out to, play better than Brian Allen? He's a converted receiver. So he only played 1 year at cornerback. I haven't seen any of his film, but, I'm hearing his name throughout some of the aficionados. They're throwing people's names out. If you guys, if you're not subscribed, man, to the Terrible Podcast and SteelersDepot.com, you're doing yourself a disservice. They had Dave T. Thomas on there last week, and that guy was breaking down people he likes, dislikes, etc., etc. A wonderful listen. But yeah, those are the most recent guys. Just to throw a few more names out there, man. Again, a lot of running backs have come in so far. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 running backs, which include Mike Weber from Ohio State, Miles Sanders from Penn State, Damian Harris from Alabama, Jordan Scarlett. I don't know much about him. I've seen him play a little bit out of Florida, but I don't really know much about him. Travis Homer from Miami. I know about him, obviously, me being a Nose fan. And that kid I just talked about, Kareth White and Ty Johnson. Another big-time position we got to pay attention to, cornerback. Right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cornerbacks. Sean Bunting out of Central Michigan. I don't know much about him. Justin Lane, Michigan State. Rocky Osen, however he pronounces it, out of Temple. Byron Murphy, DeAndre Baker, and then Steven Denmark out of Valdosta. 3 safeties, and the big name there would be Donald Savage out of Maryland. A lot of people are mocking him to the Steelers, perhaps in the second round. Let me see if there's another position that sticks out. The next highest number of visits are wide receiver with 4. And only names that really jump out for me is, I'm familiar with Miles Boykin out of Notre Dame. Not familiar with Andy Isabella out of UMass or Dylan Mitchell. I am familiar with him out of Oregon. And then the Deontay Johnson kid out of Toledo. I'm not too much familiar with him. But again, the reason why I point that out, man, is you have to pay attention to the pre-draft visits. The Steelers, a lot of times, man, in the later rounds, that's where they like to go with their picks. But just kind of pay attention to that. It gives you an idea of what they're looking for. It just gives us a few clues. And then, as far as the pro days, pay attention to that as well. Was Colbert there? Was Tomlin there? Was both of them there? A lot of times, whether these guys are pre-draft visits or not, pro day, and if Tomlin and Colbert, one of those guys are there, that has been the number 1 pick for quite a long time. Just as recent as last year with Terrell Edmonds. We didn't know nothing about him. If I recall it, he wasn't a pre-draft visit, but they met with him at the pro day and had dinner with him. And lo and behold, he gets drafted. So, all right, man, what else do I got, guys? Let me see what else. Wait a minute, man, I missed it. Donation from Mark Price. Let's give him a round of applause, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate the donation, man. Shout outs to Mark Price. Show him some love in the chat there, guys. And again, if you want to donate the way he did right here on YouTube, click the $ at the bottom of the chat. There you have it. If you prefer to donate, and if you do, you don't have to, but if you want to outside of YouTube, I have my PayPal information in the description as well as the Cash App. Cash App is $SimFBallCritic. PayPal is randomemails04@yahoo.com. Again, it's in the description. So, all right, man, let's take a look at the chat, man. What you guys got? Did I miss anything in terms of... Oh, wait. Before I go forward, I wanted to talk about, they said there were increased numbers at the voluntary workout today or early this week. I want to talk really quick why I think it's important. I just want to see that chemistry. I want to see the chemistry, man. It's good to see the newly acquired guys there. and Ben Roethlisberger there. You know, Roethlisberger sometimes misses, you know, he missed some of these type of things, and usually it's, you know, I'm not going to say it's excused because it's voluntary, but Roethlisberger hasn't always been a part of it. The fact that he's shown up, I like that. I think Roethlisberger has something to prove. I really do. But I really feel, man, just from a team standpoint, is it required? No. But I feel like anytime, you know, you hear what professional athletes talk about, how you're so connected to the guys that share that locker room with you. Y'all know each other. You know your likes, your dislikes, et cetera, and it's all about chemistry. And I think that starts from day one. Voluntary workouts. Everybody should be willing and wanting to get it back in there and just have at it with their, you know, with their teammates, working out, talking, game planning, all that kind of stuff. And I mean, unless you're out of town, I get it. It's not violent, you know, it required. So if you're off doing something else, other engagement, I get it. But for the most part, you should be wanting to be in that building. And you even see a guy like Juju, the young guy, 22 years old, and he's right there front and center. You know, he's been nothing but a professional since he's been with this team. So it's good to see that the numbers have increased. Roethlisberger being there as well. Again, I think championship teams start in April. Just my thoughts. But all right, man, looks like we don't have any more calls tonight. So let's go into the chat and see what y'all got. What up, Still Jedi? Still Jedi said, I called in tonight, but I'm super busy at work. But if we reach, I'm going to put my head through my bedroom wall. I feel you, Jedi. Look, guys, make sure y'all go check out Still Jedi, man. He has some good stuff going on his channel, man. Make sure y'all definitely do that. But, yeah, I think I saw your number when you called in, man. And, yeah, you know, if you're busy, it is what it is. I know a lot of times you say you're working when you call. So, listen, man, life comes first. You know, I'm just secondary, even though I know this is a part of life. You know, still a nation and all that, but life comes first. What up, Floyd? My cousin Floyd in the building, man. Nothing much, Floyd, man. Just talking this Steeler talk. We gotta get to a game this year, man. That's a must. We gotta get to a game this year. But all right, man. Let me see what else y'all got in the chat before we get out of here. And also, Floyd, just to let you know, man, if you know, whenever you want to actually call, I don't do the Skype thing anymore. I have a phone number, so you can definitely call in, man. So I know you'll do that at some point, so the good people can hear what you got to say. What else y'all got, man? Any questions? Anything y'all want me to address? I'll stay on for maybe another 5 minutes or so. Daniel says, sticking to the topic, my reach pick would be Noah Fant, or Fant, however you pronounce that. You know what? It's funny, man, because Kenyon kind of talked me off the ledge with him. I was big on Noah Fant. And then I started really watching the tape. And the worst thing, guys, that you could do, man, just to give you a tip, don't watch highlights. If you want to watch highlights after you've watched real film. You understand what I'm saying? Because highlights, that's just like if you was going to present something to somebody. You're going to show your best. You're going to put the best you got to offer out there, and it's cool. Because it's also good to see the type of highlight plays people are capable of. But you can't watch a mashup of just highlights and think that you're going to know the player. You understand what I'm saying? Watch the game. Watch how they function when the camera is just not directed on them, or if it's not edited for us to only train our eyes to watch that guy. Fant has some issues, man. You know, drops. Fant is not the blocking type of tight end. And that ain't going to fly in Pittsburgh. You know, we really don't have that. It looks like we kind of tried that, and the guy that we went after, you know, wasn't truthful to, you know, exposing his own or explaining his own medical history, and that would have been with Green. I mean, boy, a lot of us still wish that would have happened with the speed he had vertically, and a little bit of time that we saw him with Roethlisberger, we saw what he was capable of. But right now, the Steelers, they need more of they go for the dual type of guy. He has to be able to block. And just so happened, a guy like Vance McDonald is a pretty good package for us. You know, big guy, the dude is strong as I don't know what. He's the stiff arm king can run when he's out in the open, and he blocks very well. So they're going to definitely look for more of a prototypical type of guy in that regard. At least that's what I think. And round of applause, man, to Anthony Blewett for the donation. Appreciate that donation, man. You guys have no idea how much it means. Aguilar says, are your podcasts only available on YouTube or is it available on different podcast apps? Right now it's just on YouTube, man. What I think I'm definitely going to explore doing is cutting up the audio. Not really cutting it up, but extracting the audio once the video saves and maybe upload it in other places. We'll see. But right now it's just on YouTube because, to be honest, I'm really just trying to build my base. But that might even help it. So yeah, that gives me something to think about. What else you guys got, man? Let's see. Dana Weber says, right. That's why I said Bush can't stop the run up the middle. You know what? You got a point, man. Bush does get caught up in the wash a little bit. I noticed that. And that could be, size deficiency as far as height and things like that. It could be a number of things. Even though if we're able to get Bush at 20, I'm definitely cool with that. But yeah, he has some deficiencies, no doubt about it. Cesar Diaz says, do you think that Jeffrey Simmons would be an option in your opinion if he falls to us in the first round? Love the show. I got to be open and honest with you guys. That's the only way I know how to keep it. I'm not really too familiar with Jeffrey Simmons, to be honest with you. So I wouldn't know if he's an option. Maybe somebody else, in the chat can answer that. But I don't want to sit here and act like I'm up on him. I'll never do that to you guys. I'm always going to keep it real. Thoughts on Benny Snell? Hey man, he checks a lot of boxes that the Steelers look for. Big, bulky type of guy. That's usually where they go. I wouldn't be opposed to it. Still Jedi later on. I just prefer a quick hitter. I think we got a combination in power, and some shiftiness and downhill running with James Conner. I think your man can even give you some of that as well. But, I think Jalen Samuels can give you a little bit of that. But at the same time, nah, I want to change the pace. I want to change the pace type of guy. I don't want, a lot of the running backs that kind of fit the same mold. Again, the analogy I used earlier, and I don't mean overall game. I'm just saying I would love to have a Jerome Bettis and Willie Parker situation again, where you have the thumper, then you have the guy that can just he catches it in the right spot, the hole opens up just right, and he's able to take that thing 60 yards. I need that. I need some of that. And shout out to a round of applause, man, to General Grievous. Round of applause for the donation, man. I appreciate that, guys, man. You guys are too good to me, man. I definitely appreciate you guys. Jesse George says Samuel's never gonna be a speed guy. Nope. Todd says OC Samuel's lost a few pounds. Okay. Oh yeah, I did hear that. He lost, but I still don't think. We'll see. I'm not gonna say it won't help his speed, but I don't. Nah. Samuel's ain't that. Yeah. Still Jedi also says he lost about 15 pounds. Most of the home run hitters are injury prone like Love. That's true. You're right. But I feel like if the guys, he's not going to be, whoever we pick at running back is not going to be a starter. That's why I feel like you're more than likely going to be, third fiddle. Maybe you can sneak into the second, but I feel like Jalen Samuels is definitely going to have the edge over you, especially seeing how he was able to perform late in the season, particularly against New England. He's going to come into the season in that spot. So why not have the third, the third or the, third stringer be somebody that's a little different, a change of pace type of guy, somebody that you can scheme to get open or, scheme different type of plays for him. Why not? Why not take a chance with some speed? Dree Archer, yeah, Dree Archer was dun-dun-dun-dun. All right, so a few more minutes, man, then we're going to get out of here. Oh, whoa. We actually had a phone call, man. So area code 330, we'll take this last phone call, and then that'll pretty much wrap the show, man. So we'll take a few minutes here. Area code 330, what you got for us?
What's up, Sim? It's Duane, man.
Yeah,
My
what's
bad
up,
for being
brother?
so late, but
Oh, no, you good.
well, what I was thinking about, everybody talking about, either it's gonna be a bus, or reach or anything like that. Y'all gotta think about it. If there ain't nobody there that Pittsburgh like, Pittsburgh will trade down in a heartbeat. They have done it before. A couple years back, they had like the 22nd pick and traded down to the 28th pick. I can't remember what year it was, but it was, a few years.
Who was
back.
the pick? Who did they pick at 28 that year? Do you remember? Because I don't remember them trading back for a long time.
I know it's been since Roethlisberger's been there. I know that much. I can't remember exactly when, because Roethlisberger been there for over a decade. But Pittsburgh is known for not just going after if they see somebody out there. Well, it's not a position of need. Let's still grab them. No, it has to be somebody that is out there that they're looking at. They have to evaluate everything. Like, let's look at our offensive linemen. Let's be real. I would not be surprised if Pittsburgh do not pick an offensive lineman in the first round. Simple fact of the matter of Ramon Foster. He's getting up there in age. Pouncey's getting up there in age. And then I can never pronounce his name right. Villanueva.
Or Big Al. Yeah. Just call him Big Al.
Yeah. Yeah, let's call him Big Al. He's up there in age. Yeah, he's not been in the league for long, but he's still up there in age. So they're going to look and try to get another offensive lineman, like the year that they picked up De Castro. That was a lot of fans did not see that coming because Pittsburgh needed other positions, but Pittsburgh went and chose to get an offensive lineman, and now look at it. We have positions that we need, but people start, like you said, start paying attention to the visits and the stuff like that. Who Pittsburgh went out to dinner with and everything, because you'll be surprised. And when it comes down to it, like I said, I really would rather them trade back than to go and get another Jarvis Jones. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I think, man, and appreciate your call, Duane. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it there. It's hard for me to think that the Steelers will trade back, only because, if I'm not mistaken, I think Colbert has only traded back one time in his tenure, and that was, I can't remember the year, but Colbert, if I'm not mistaken, has only done that like one time, and that was like around the mid to early 2000s. I don't see it happening. They bet not go after O-lineman. And as much as I'm for the philosophy that they attempt to sell us, and I say attempt, because Colbert and Tomlin always say that they don't necessarily draft for need. If a player is there and they're going to take the best player on the board, I believe that. Not this year, though. Not O-line. No. I would, honestly, to be honest with you, I would prefer them take a chance at somebody at receiver, corner, inside linebacker, pass rusher. There's other positions that you can take a shot at 20 if the key guys are not there instead of O-line. Don't do that. Not this year. I think the O-line is good. Of course, they're getting older, and I think they showed us that last year by drafting Chooks. because, he's obviously going to be a project that they can work on. And we thought that was a bit early in the third round. I wouldn't be opposed for them to do that. Maybe they do that later in the draft, grab another old lineman somewhere. That's cool. But if it's in the first 2-3 rounds, with the picks that we got at 20 and then 52 and then 66 and then the other third round pick, I ain't with that. I am not with that. But then also, like I said, man, I just don't see Colbert. I don't see him doing it. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but we all know that the Steelers. Hold on real quick, man. I got to address one of the commenters here, MC Sport, and I know he's probably just busting our chops, playing around. But I don't understand when people say they have a second team. Come on, man. Listen, you got to go with that. There's no such thing as a second team. Now, let me tell you what I do. I am a Steeler fan through and through. There is no other team. Now, who do I root for if the Steelers are not in the playoffs or whatever? Only other team that I'd be like, I'd like to see them is the Eagles. You know why? Because they're in Pennsylvania. But that's just by default. I don't like the Eagles. I don't follow them. But if the Steelers have lost the playoffs, or they're not in the playoffs and the Eagles are in there, I'd be like, all right, I'd like to see, let's get some representation from PA. But that whole, my second team, people say that to me all the time. Well, I got like 2-3 teams. No, bruh. No. Ain't no such thing. I got 2 or 3 teams. Nah. It's one or none. Period. Hold on, guys. The wife is texting me. Give me a second. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up here, man. It's funny how the women got that ESP. Well, she knew I was about to wrap up. But, yeah, let me see what else you guys got, man. I think that's it for tonight. Well, yeah, man, y'all missing me with that double team stuff, man. No, sir. We don't do that around these parts. But, yeah, that's all I got for y'all tonight. Listen, what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try. And I want to say I'm going to get it done. I want to find at least 5 prospects around that Steelers might go after in the first round. And do some additional shows this week and give you my real thoughts on each guy. I've watched a decent amount of film, so maybe I can say I can include a Byron Murphy in there. Devin Bush, maybe. I watched, what's the kid from Virginia? Thornhill. Yo, I like Juan Thornhill, let me tell you. And I remember one of you guys told me to check him out. One of you guys called a week or 2 ago, and I hadn't seen much. But, bruh, listen here. I like Juan Thornhill. Juan Thornhill. And the thing that I forgot about with Thornhill is he also was a corner. He played corner first. Versatility. I like that kid a lot. I'm not saying he's the first round pick, but I'm just saying if somehow we could get him second round or so, or if nobody else is left, same thing with Donald Savage. I like Savage, the kid out of Maryland. That dude looks like a Steeler. But yeah, I like Juan Thornhill a lot. I really do. And shout outs to you guys who put me on to him. And Kenyon told me a little bit about him as well. Yeah. So what I'm going to try to do, man, is pick a couple guys. I can't be for sure what days. Maybe I'll come back tomorrow sometime. Maybe. But I'm going to try to at least, even if I have to just do one other video, maybe on Saturday. I want to at least do an extra video, do another Steelers report to break down a couple guys. And then by the time Tuesday comes, we'll all sit here and we'll try to finalize who we think is going to be. And then, of course, draft night, we live. We're going to be live. Kenyon and Tony will join me for the show. And we're going to let that thing rock. And we're going to see exactly what the Steelers are going to do. And wouldn't we all be shocked if they traded out of the first round? But I don't think that that's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. Not being at 20. I think a little bit of remorse is going to kick in from last year, seeing that the guys that they probably wanted or was gone already before it got down to us. So I think sitting at 20, I think there's enough. If you believe in the Steelers philosophy, I think there's enough talent on the big board that they have somebody to pick at 20. You know, you're talking about only 19 other guys before them. So I don't think they're going to move. If they move, they might move up. And then they might move again. In the second or third round, they might move somewhere. But I think they're going to hold tight and they're going to stay put at 20. And they might reach in terms of technically reaching. It might be Winovich or somebody like that. And I'm not going to be mad if it's Winovich. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Let me go ahead and get out of here. My time is up. Like always, man, if you like what I do here, please hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that green thumb, man, right there. Right there. Hit that like button. Let's get these likes up, man. We only sitting at 24. Let's get those up. If you enjoyed the show, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you are already subscribed, or once you subscribe, make sure you cut on the notification bell so you know when next videos are available. And last but not least, if you want to donate to the cause, you can do so right here on YouTube. You click the $ in the bottom of the chat. Or if you prefer to do that outside of YouTube, Cash App information is in the description, as well as PayPal information is right there in the description. And thank you for you guys who did donate tonight. I gave you the round of applause, and if I missed anybody, I definitely apologize, but thank you all for that. But outside of that, man, I will see you guys again next week. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the air. We're going to be back later this week for, at some point, could be tomorrow, a Steelers report, and we'll do something a little different. All right, but until then, you guys be good, be blessed, have a good night, and let's hope the Steelers don't reach too much, huh? All right, man. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.